بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
You know when you have a conversation with someone you love and they start talking to you, you want that conversation to be continuous forever. You do not want it to stop. And then Zechariah did not tell him, "Thank you, my Lord," and that's it. Let me have a conversation. Let me make it longer. And then he asked him, "My Lord, how shall I have a boy when my wife is barren and I have grown decrepit with old age?" Trying to have the conversation longer and thirsty for hearing that word from the Lord himself. What is the word? You're nothing. You don't have anything. You are not doing anything. You're not needed. That's the absolute. You know, some wine, there is wine called absolute. That's the absolute. That's the vodka of the people of God. That's the absolute. When God tells them, nothing depends on you. And God served him that cup. And told him, "Thus shall it be. Thy Lord says, it is easy for me. I had created thee before when you was nothing." He even gave him the word nothing. All what Zechariah wanted to hear from his Lord. Nothing. I'm nothing. To Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he served him the same cup another day. ليس لك من الأمر شيء. You don't have any share in this matter of mine. People of egos like us, they get offended when you tell them that. You're but a servant. You have nothing to do in this. Modern teacher, or working in Sanad and cleaning and cooking, etc. And I think, and then you have a crazy teacher like some I know, and then they will come and they smash it all like that. And you're nothing. You did nothing. Seekers of the ego, they won't be happy with that answer. It's painful. Some of them will become rebellious. How could you say I'm nothing? How could you say I did not do anything? What do you mean I did not do anything? I gave everything. I did. Huh? But the people of God and the seeker of God, when you tell him, you do not have anything to do with this matter. To God be the glory. They receive it as a glad tiding. That means it's a confirmation that the work is not mine, that he accepted the work and he attributed it to himself. It is his work. I'm part of it, and that's it. Do you want to taste something? Take a drop from the lake and then send it back to the lake. And try to hear the voice, the sound the praises of that drop melting again, uniting again with its source, with its origin. In the same time, it doesn't exist as a separate entity anymore. Huh? But in the same time, she's part of that all. And she can claim that the fish is in me, the treasures are in me, the boats are floating on me. Being part of that all. And that's the vodka, the absolute of the people of God. And then God served him that cup. And he told him, again, the conversation was long. God could tell him something else. Could have told him, thus shall it be. Stop. I said, thus shall it be. Thy Lord, not the Lord, thy Lord, your Lord. Thy Lord says, it is easy for me. I had created thee before, when thou wast nothing. He said, my Lord, appoint for me a sign. Appoint for me a sign. Again, according to many narrations, according to many opinions, according to many tastes and levels of understanding. And every people, they can get what increases their faith. And we are not meant to drink the same drink. If what's the name of that shop in Canada? They call it what? They have only one shop authorized to sell wine. It's called that? LCBO. Huh? LCBO. If LCBO, Ontario, decide to sell only one kind of wine, people will be upset with them. What are you doing? قد علم كل ناس مشربهم. I drink vodka, you can't. You drink something else. I can drink it absolute. You have to mix it with water, with juice. You can't have it like that. People are not the same. That's why we have different meanings and different layers. But the common denominator is increasing faith and sending you back to God. The other interpretation, they say, one interpretation, they say, Zechariah now he's asking for a sign. Because he knows if he goes back to his people and just his wife becomes pregnant and he tells them something, they won't believe. And they will anticipate, maybe they will kill him. The way they kill him, because they became so impatient now. They became so angry with that family now. Because that family kept telling them, the Messiah is coming, the Messiah is coming. And every time something happens. He said, appoint me a sign to facilitate, to make it easy for people to believe in the bigger sign. Appoint me a sign to make it easier for the children of Israel to believe. So they could actually receive, be in harmony with this miracle coming. He did not want his people to miss out to that moment. He did not want his people to, while the glory of God is celebrated, is being celebrated, while a miracle is happening in front of them or amongst them, they are scorning or mocking or being negative. He wanted to prepare them to be actually positive. He wanted to prepare them to believe. He said, appoint me a sign. He did not want to give them a chance to to lose out and to reject or to jump into their negativity. And then regret it after. As a preparation, he asked his Lord, give me a sign. And God has given him the sign that you won't be able to speak for 3 days. This is an understanding. Now we go back to the absolute. Now God, he told him, I have created you before and you were nothing. God, give me a sign. I want to taste again, because he told him before then, I have created you when you were nothing. So God, I want to taste again to that nothingness now. Here and now. Here and now. I still have something to do in this world, yes, but here and now, give me a taste of that fana, of that annihilation. I want to taste to that nothingness. What is the most important organ or tool? Or we can say organ? No? Element in the body of a caller to God? After his heart, absolutely. The tongue, speech. Take the speech away from a caller to God. You will worship with your heart. You will call with your heart, but then you will taste. That's a carpenter. A carpenter who is working with his hands, you take his hands away, he will feel the nothingness. A player of the piano, you take his fingers away, he will feel the nothingness. A caller to God, you take his tongue away, he will feel that nothingness. And then that's why God, he told him, you want a sign of nothingness? You are calling to God. Now, you won't be able to speak for 3 days. You are going to keep drunk for 3 days. Drunk, absolute. You will keep drunk for 3 days. That's what a cup of absolute does for you. You will keep drunk for 3 days. Not able to speak. You won't be able to speak. You won't be able to move your tongue. And Zechariah left the temple, drunk, after that moment, in the company of whom? Of his Lord. After that silence, the deep silence, not even the silence that we know of. You think that you know silence? The silence of the people of God is something else. Now the silence of the prophets is something else. I know one man of God, and I believe that he doesn't lie. And I have a proof. It says, when in my moment of silence, I could see the molecules of my blood circulating. Not only the heart, the awareness, not only of the breath and the heartbeat. No. That I become aware of every single cell in my body in the moment of my silence. I could see. I go to the pain in my body and just, subhanallah, ajib. It's possible for the people of God, let alone for the prophets of God, coming out of that silence, that moment of deep intimacy. And I'm sure you have all tasted to a kind of intimacy with God. I'm sure you have all tasted to some kind of intimacy with God. And don't say no. You have all tasted to that. If not now, before you were born, when you were in the womb of your mother. You have all tasted to that. Just recover and rediscover and bring that memory back. It's there within you. I'm sure you have all tasted and you have a memory. Even if it is a far of a moment, even if it is very short, moment of intimacy, deep intimacy with God. the moment of tawbah, the moment of atonement, the moment when you decided to come back to Him, the moment you decided to hear Him, the moment you decided to invite Him back in your life, the moment you decided to open your doors and your windows, the moment you wanted Him back in your home. I'm sure you have all experienced these moments of intimacy. And I'm sure that all of you are yearning, longing, if you could buy that moment again with the rest of your life, you would do so. I'm sure, because I know that you are sincere. And if you are a sincere person, you want to get back to the beginning forever. And you want to continue your life as a beginner, because there is nothing more beautiful than the beginning. The moment of birth, the moment of sunrise. There is nothing more beautiful than that. Now, you see that intimacy? Multiply it. Multiply it in the number of the breath of all the human beings on earth today, to find a glimpse of the intimacy that Zechariah was experiencing with his Lord in the temple in that moment. What's your name? Sakina. I'm sure you all know what Sakina is. Sakina means serenity. I'm sure you have all tasted to some serenity in your life, at least in one occasion. At least, even if it is for a short, even if it were, or it was for a short moment, I'm sure you have all tasted to that. One day, one time, at least. And you remember how sweet it was to surrender, to feel the sakina, to feel God telling you, don't worry, I'm here, I'm near, I'm taking control of everything. Relax. SubhanAllah. One of my brothers, he told me the sweetest moment in his life when he found his daughter floating in the pool, white. And the daughter was Maryam. You prayed for her, sent you the email to pray for her. She's alive now, alhamdulillah. But he found her floating. The heart was not beating. Scientifically speaking, his father was a doctor. Said she's dead. Forget it. He said at that moment, he said, that was the sweetest moment. I just heard a voice within me telling me, don't worry, I'm in charge, I'm in control. He said, I heard you. He said, but he heard God. SubhanAllah. All what he could do to push the name to his wife, call this person. Tell him to pray for us. SubhanAllah. But, you know, I'm in serenity. Serenity. إن مع العسر يسرا. When you lose all means, yet God tells you, don't despair, I'm there. I'm there for you. I'm here for you. You know that sweetness that you have tasted to, that serenity you have tasted to, now take that serenity, multiply it by the number of breaths of all the human beings today, to get but a glimpse of the serenity that Zechariah was experiencing in that moment in the temple, or has felt in that moment in the temple. Joy of the heart. Faith. Ecstasy. Zechariah now coming out of that temple, of all of that together, finding himself where? In the street. In the streets of Jerusalem. My donkey, no, it's mine. I paid you, no. You took the money with you. No, they paid you the money. 10 riyals. No. Someone else. No, it's mine, yours. May the curse of the Lord be upon you and your family. I will cry to the Lord. Beggars in the name of the Lord. In the name of the Lord, give me. If you do not give me, may God protect you. People trying to fake that they are handicapped. People God created healthy, but they are bringing misery into themselves. People actually cutting a limb or something too. People trying to ramp as serpents. People are trying to ramp, convincing you that they have no means. And again, making some weird voices in the name of the Lord, convincing you to give your money to them. Priests, go to the temple. We have to renew the wall. The washroom of the biggest priest needs to be renewed in the name of the Lord. Fundraising, how many? How much do you need to renew the washroom? Other people, your sisters were being raped by Romans today. Who's hungry? Who wants to eat the Romans alive? Vengeance! All that. Imagine a cocktail, a salad of all of that going on. You don't need to imagine, just go to the streets of Algeria, Morocco, Iraq, Syria. It's the same. That's why we are talking about this, because it is our time. We believe that Jesus is coming back, right? So he must come back in a time very similar to the time he came. He came in first. But it's not the children of Israel today, it's the children of Adam altogether, but most importantly, the Muslims as the last nation of revelation. That's where everything is happening. That's why they're in the center. It's not for no reason. Don't feel, absolutely. You are claiming to have the last text of Revelation. So be it. Carry it. As a burden or as a blessing, that's your choice.
شفيعنا أحمد الله صلي ربي على النبي مولانا